stuff, be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button, and you can use the links that will be down below in order to support the channel. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the wisdom of the Hermit. So when you're looking at the Hermit, right, it's the quiet seeker, the ancient sage, and the soul that retreats, not escape, not to escape the world, but to better understand it. So the Hermit energy is it's not about loneliness. It is more about illumination. So you can see the lantern that he has. It's guiding his steps, like each step right before the next one. So the Hermit, like I said, is about illumination, and some people may look at the Hermit and immediately think of how bad isolation is, but they are missing the miracle, right? Because in the stillness there is truth, and the Hermit walks not in darkness, obviously, because it has that lantern, and it's really, this lantern is symbolism of being, lit up from within and things of that nature. So it's just, like I said, symbolism showing you what you should have, as within, so without, things of that nature. But the Hermit does not run or fear silence, right? They cherish it. So you have to know that in a world filled with a bunch of noise, the truest guidance will come from that quiet voice within. So anything that you're seeing in the world, you may be enjoying content like this or content that's helping you learn. There's nothing wrong with that, because any content that is leading you back to your true self is always helpful, right? So the Hermit holds a lantern, not to light, paths for others. Obviously, this lantern is to just illuminate their own next step, because they understand that, that true wisdom comes from not rushing ahead, but, pausing, reflecting, listening, understanding, and then moving, So there's real wisdom in, the way that you move when you become more like the Hermit. There's a light inside of you, too. A knowing, a steady flame. And you can even see the lantern that he has, like, protected on all sides. And that's, the energy that you can, tap into. Something that's a steady flame that's protected within you. And, sometimes we have to know when to pull back and step away and just unplug from the world, just to remember who we are. So the Hermit teaches us that there is a difference between isolation and sacred solitude, between avoidance and intentional retreat. And when you draw, like when you withdraw with purpose, you don't lose your way. You just start to rediscover it, rediscover yourself. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into, wisdom. This reading is more about, the energy of success, the success that you will find when you are being intentional and things of that nature. So let's go ahead and get into this. We'll get some from the wisdom deck. At the bottom of the deck is like the co-create card. So co-creating with your higher self and like your conscious self, which is like two different sides of yourself. That higher self has a lot more knowledge. So speaking of that inner flame, that's what it's referencing, So let's see what lesson is the, universe inviting you to explore. See if we can get more information on that. Hello to the chat. let's see. Let's shuffle and see what lesson is the universe inviting you to explore right now. Okay, the number that popped out is the number 11. By the book. By the book, the number 11. So the universe is calling you to explore, the energy of going by the book. Um, Maybe you're, following a energy that, you're following the energy of the laws of the universe, not just conforming for no reason, but like the universal laws that you can't escape. So you may not be, into cultural laws or religion or, just something that's too much of societal conformity, which is the hermit energy. Realizing that the answers are within you, and it's best to listen to self and worry about, a lot of self-expression rather than just turning away from these laws and being governed by a lot of people. Now it's not just other people. It's not bad to open your eyes to whatever truths of society, but as far as your prosperity, at this time you can expect returns on your investments. So what are you investing in? If you're investing time into yourself, if you're investing into solitude and introspection and things of those natures, it's like putting like money into a savings for yourself, or just asking yourself, what have you learned over the past year? How can you not make those mistakes? Or how can you take it up a notch, and allowing yourself to ask those questions of yourself and then answering them, or getting answers from within, and not worrying about the outside noise. So, returning, investing more into yourself. When you go into that hermit mode, it's all about, yourself, not isolation, not just loneliness, for the sake of anything, but, withdrawing so that you're able to, take that energy, that money, that time, whatever you're giving to the outside world, giving it to yourself, because, you'll see a lot of dividends. So, whether it's a dream that you have been cherishing, a skill that you want to cultivate, or a service that you are called to, these things will come to you if you are willing to go by the book in some sort of way, right? Like I said, you don't need to reinvent the wheel in order to be successful. So I often think about that, like the first runner who was the first person on record to run a mile in like a certain amount of minutes. And then after he did it, so many people started breaking his record and things of that nature. But up until that point, people didn't think it was possible. So they didn't reach, for that thing, because they really thought that they would die if they even tried, right? So it took one person being fearless enough in order to, lead other people who really needed to be in that energy. Also, even I've known stories of, the elephant memory. So your soul memory. Think about your soul having the memory of an elephant. That's what I'm saying. Going to your higher self and then asking for the guidance that you need. Because there's this story of an elephant that was taken to one drinking hole, like one time in her life as a kid, and then as a mother years and years later, when it was necessary, and the water in the area that she was in was scarce, she had to go to that place that she had been to only once as a child. So that just goes, to show that there is a lot of inner knowledge. And like I said, you don't have to reinvent that wheel, but following in the footsteps of your past selves or other selves who have already achieved whatever you're striving for in this lifetime, and your creative projects and your commitment to your own prosperity is what puts you in alignment. It can be alignment, like I said, with the world, but self-alignment is needed and necessary, and more, it's just very important. I'll put that there. Okay, let's see. What is your inner light trying to show you? Let's get some more wisdom. dormant in your super consciousness so that you can pay attention to the simple things in life. So when you are, like I said, with the Hermit card, or just by the book card as well, it's about, those like pruning a tree, or, pruning things of that nature, so that when it comes and is about to be in full blossom, it'll be, a bigger, beautiful, um, blossoming, like taking place, right? So when you engage in everyday tasks in a meditative and contemplative way, you clear your energy to receive, and you open yourself up to aha moments, which can bring you closer to what you seek. So a lot of times, if you're consuming content about how to do this and how to do that, you're not allowing yourself enough time to actually act out the steps that you've learned. So taking a break from learning can be important to just take the small steps rather than larger steps. Like I said, with the Hermit card, with that illuminating energy right there, and that's just focusing on your next step and the next step and the next step, right? So focus on the little things that you may have let pout up, while you were mapping out like the greatest plan of all time. Aspire to see these things coming into, manifesting into your reality. So there's the saying, chop wood, carry water. And as this, proverb says, it's like walking the dishes or walking the dog. While you're doing all that, spirit will have a chance to move mountains and set wondrous miracles in motion for you. So remain just humble and just aware of the present. By humble, I don't mean, just bowing to other people around you. I mean, bowing to that greatness that's within you, that you may have just never explored before, because you were so accustomed to looking outside of yourself and thinking other people had the answers. And, for a long while, that's the truth. But when we grow up, we become our greatest guides, and, the person that you were looking for all along was within you. So let's go ahead and see, how can you protect your peace while also, being present in this same way. So like, how can you, like I said, do the regular joys of life and also invite in prosperity, wisdom, and things of that nature. Okay, we have number 32. Here and now. Okay, trying to show the card off. Okay. Okay, so the number 32 is here and now. So with that energy of, protecting your peace and being present in the world, it's really calling you to, be more intrinsically focused, understanding the power that has, not focusing on other people, not, trying to please other people and satisfy people. Focusing on yourself is never a bad investment. Focusing on your own skills, being fully present in the moment, living one day at a time, you'll never regret these things. But I'm sure you can come up with things where you have, over focused in the past on things that wasn't necessary for you to, be afraid about or anything of that nature. But when you look back at it, you realize that you worried for nothing, things of that nature. So being more present in the moment, allowing more guidance or whatever that you need, is this realizing that this moment has the potential for you to create miracles in your own life. It's like when you're working on what you're working on right now, realizing how golden that is, realizing how silence is golden, and how all of your efforts will leave a powerful legacy. So you're not focusing on just meeting a goal in the far off future, but you know that you're creating your dream life right now, and you are releasing your desire for an outcome and just are fully immersed in your prosperous thoughts, you automatically tune into a sense of timelessness. So realizing that you're not on that like TikTok schedule of, having to be so quick or being in a race with other people. A lot of times I do feel like we have those moments of looking to the left and to the right of other people and seeing or saying to ourselves, we're behind. But when you realize that, time is not real, the past and the present are just right here in the moment. If you think about any moment of the past or the future, your successes of the past, your successes of the future is brought into the here and now moment. And you give yourself the ability to immerse yourself in those thoughts and, bring yourself back to that unlimited potential that you have. So you can always act as if, in spite of any temporary outer conditions, and know that you are prosperous at this moment, right? So what you think right now becomes your reality. So it's so important to stay present, stay, in that solitude moment. So let's go ahead and see what gift will emerge from all of this introspection that you're doing. Thank you. Sorry, I had to drop some cards, so let me pick them up. Alright, let's go ahead and see. I'm shuffling. Sorry, I had to pick up those cards. I appreciate anyone liking the video and going in the chat as well, leaving a comment down below. Okay, our card flopped out. So we have higher power. The number 4, higher power. So we have 4, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, and 9. I feel like I want to get a angel number. I always love to see what numbers are reoccurring so that you know exactly what to, come back to, look out for, things of that nature. So, realizing that solitude is not a weakness, it's clarity, it's a higher power, and it is that third eye power that you can kind of see that on the card. The third eye power that gives you is like something that brings you back to your center, right? When life becomes loud or decisions feel overwhelming, when the outside world is like pulling you in every direction, it's always best to come back to those quiet moments, those moments that keep you sane, really, and bring you a different level of prosperity, because you're tapping into something that, like I said, we live in a distracted world. So conscious contact with a higher power and the presence of the divine. So when you're seeing source energy and all things, you feel like you're committing to a partnership with spirit. That's what solitude brings you. If you're too busy listening, to the outside, that higher power that's trying to, guide you can always reach you. So this card is reminding you that you are more than a person trying to get ahead and make things happen for yourself and make stuff happen for the world, right? You have to realize that you have like an immortal soul and you are gifted with human life, through which, a higher power is expressing itself through you. So at this time, you can be conscious of your connection to spirit and foster it through the meditation, through, talking, using, prayer, whatever it is, and just asking what is the highest good for all and what is the highest good for you. How can you, serve the world and get served as well, the give and take of the world, yin and yang. So that's definitely the energy that you want to be within. And as far as how that affects your prosperity, sometimes work flows through you, ideas come rushing in, and inspiration can bubble up from within, and you won't even know that, like, you wouldn't have thought that you could access all of this stuff from within yourself. When people talk about like the Akashic records and just spiritual experiences that they have through, whatever means, meditation, breath work, ayahuasca, I don't know, but whatever it is, just experiencing the worlds that reside within you, even having many houses in the multiverse, all of that is really connected to what you're able to experience spiritually and how that can really reshape your world. And like I said, bringing you to your center and experience that coming back, coming inward. You already know the way, and that's like a part of your real magic. So when you enter agreements or you begin projects or you're like starting negotiations and deals and things of that nature, when money is starting to flow in, realizing that you have spirit as your partner, this higher power is your partner, and this higher power is, let that higher power lead you to the place that you need to succeed. Someone commented in the chat about, success and how they can achieve it. And like I said, it's really about letting this higher power guide you. Those synchronicities, that's why I always love to look at the numbers, the intuitive messages that you get from those synchronicities, and you will feel the help of, the next step being, given to you. And it's giving you confidence to keep moving forward in the right direction. And don't forget to give, that credit to that higher self, that spirit within you, and, just saying thank you when you see numbers. Like it's 2 p.m. right now. We have 2 all over this number. Every card is like has some sort of connection with 2. Even 4 is like 2 and 2. So, seeing that energy, you wouldn't be a success without this higher power, the spirit that is guiding you, and that humility, that being humble, that wisdom, that knowledge of the greatest thing that's within you, that's helping you. That humility will serve you well. That's what you get when you're seeing this card here as well. So just knowing that, the Hermit is a seeker, is always curious and always exploring. Let's go ahead and I just want to get really quickly a clarifier for each card here. So for number 1, by the book. Hello to the chat. How did it feel? Okay, we have the King of Swords. So the by the book card coming out with the King of Swords is actually kind of crazy because the King of Swords is like showing leadership, the energy of leadership, using your logic side of your brain as well, so there's just going with the spiritual side, there's a lot of creativity that you'll experience from, going within and seeing within and, just that side of your brain. So this is like after you have spiritual experiences, after you gain wisdom, after you go into solitude, coming out of it, you have to use like your logical side of your brain. You have to take over, you have to be an authority in your life. So you're a leader, just like you can see this elephant, mama elephant, leading her kids, like I said, and her elephants have great memory, so they will also benefit from her wisdom that she's given them. She's leading them, like I said, being wise and being just with the ability, like, to make great decisions is something that benefits not just you, but whoever is coming after you, whoever you're teaching. So let's see, chop wood. Thank you, Jimmy. Okay, we have the moon. The moon coming out is the number 18, which is another 9. Synchronicity is going crazy for you. So don't be scared to tap into those numbers or solitude? How do you get that intuition? You quiet down and you listen to yourself. You become the most important voice of your life. Other people can lead you to, mysteries, and they can help you with wisdom as well and give you guidance. But it's you acting on that guidance that has the real effect in your life. And it goes with the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is really the most unknown goat of all time. Like, everybody talks about him, makes um, movies about, and all of these different things about just the subconscious mind, or the powers of the humans, like, just through their creativity, or whatever. But the subconscious mind is the thing that's doing all of that. So it is the most, it's mysterious, but it has a formula to it. And you can get it to work with you and for you, because it has already been doing that your whole life. But tapping into it, it brings a new level of guidance, and it makes your success much easier to obtain. So let's get one for the here and now. All right. So we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. Seven of Swords in reverse is all about, releasing the guilt. You may be feeling, I like this coming up, because sometimes when you are strategic, the Seven of Wands about, being strategic, and, maybe having to, think long term, and being very, not just cunning for the sake of, deceiving people, or being sneaky or nasty in that way, but, being honest and realizing that your life's actions has consequences. So if you're honest with yourself and you're like, I know that I need to be someone who is off in more isolation. 7, 8, 9. I know that look like tic tac toe, but I know I need to be someone who's like off in isolation. Just for being honest with people and coming clean about that. And that way, like I said, you're not able to be guilt tripped by anyone who feels as though you should focus more time on them, or things of that nature, right? So when you're honest with other people, what that may look like is maybe they're not happy that you're focusing so much on yourself, or maybe they want to spend more time with you. But like I said, this card is also in the reverse talking about consequences. So you know that if you spend more time giving to everyone else, the consequence of that is that you're not giving to yourself, you're not investing in yourself, and that will have long-term consequences that you definitely don't want to catch up with you. So it's not all about, just having, so life is an adventure, right? The Hermit is the seeker. It's always curious, you're always exploring, and not with this Hermit card energy. If you're resonating with that, let me know. Leave a number 9 or 999 down below. But the Hermit energy is one of, intuition, psychology, or, philosophy as well, psychology too, but sacred texts and deep contemplation. And you're knowing that life is not all about just having the answers. It's about, seeking and asking deeper questions. And you love this push and pull of, asking questions and getting answers. It's like the greatest achievement in life, not the things that come from that, which is here for you, right? You have the money, you have things that's coming up that's letting you know that you can be successful. When you take over the leadership position in your life, when you invest in yourself, of course you're going to get dividends. But it's something bigger than that. The intelligence of the universe is like very appealing to you. You want to know why this thing called subconscious works, and you have a lot of questions like that, how you're thinking questions. So the point, there is strength in, like I said, setting boundaries, realizing the consequences that it has. When you invest in yourself, when you set boundaries, there is power in saying, I need time for me, not to disconnect forever, but to return and to make yourself whole again, right? So let's get the last card. obviously the Hangman. Wow, this is perfect because it does, give you that peace, the serenity type of energy. Um, and it's also the number 12, so it's perfect to end off on that. But the only time that I'm really seeing here is um, obviously the first card that we have out is the August 21st to September the 10th or the 20th. And then I always think the timing is perfect. So even if you're thinking about like February the 21st to March the 20th, that energy as well is maybe, just something that happened around that time. When I think about, chickens coming home to roost, so maybe you started something in the month of February to March, and then you started, just investing in yourself very heavily, taking that leadership role, taking ownership, and being an authority in your life, right? Not being scared to handle your business. At the bottom of the deck, we had the Emperor energy and authority, being bringing structure to your life, taking control, and that sort of control, it leads to, damn, another 4, which is like the endings, the death and rebirth, transformation, because you get truth, and truth makes you change your mind. So the Hermit card is reminding you to reflect on what are you being called to, what is life trying to teach you right now, and what do you know deeply within your soul that you may have been ignoring. And with that, the quiet, the still gaze, just closing your eyes, being in that darkness, that's encouraging you to look inward and to trust your inner compass, right? And just making space for the truth to rise within you, like rising to that surface within you. So this card is not just a card of action. This card is just like the Hanged Man, which is a card of alignment, right? So sometimes it's best to, like I said, I mentioned the timing of the cards just to let you know that everything is happening for you. It's best to surrender to the higher power, let go, and allow for new perspectives to take over. So if you have been a person who wasn't very patient in the past, it's important for you to let go of any competition energy, any conflict energy within yourself of wanting to move fast, or wanting things to happen at a certain time. You should be feeling for things to happen in a certain alignment. So when clarity is happening within you, with the Ace of Swords, a lot of Swords energy, which is air, air. But mental power, truth, breakthroughs. This is another card telling you that truth is so important, and being real with yourself, allowing that space to come in and that wisdom to echo within your own soul, because your next breakthrough doesn't come from you doing more. It comes from taking a pause long enough to hear the wisdom coming to you and to surrender to that wisdom. Act on it in the way that you must, but surrendering to it so that you're not feeling like you're under pressure in any sort of way. So let's go ahead and get I like this at the bottom, 1031. It's the angel number that we have. I'm going to shuffle, obviously, but it's a card that's telling you about passion, right? What are you passionate about? Investing into what you're passionate about. It's just one angel number. Okay. Sorry, I had, okay. 14. So, a lot of 4s. The higher power card has a 4 on it as well. Got a couple of those in this reading, but yes. Okay. So the 14 is the adventure card. I told you before, the Hermit card is the one of not just a map adventure or a GPS adventure. Of course, it's that as well, but the energy of inside adventure, like exploring yourself. And the 14 is telling you that adventure awaits you, and you're getting ready to embark on a brand new journey, and you're bringing like exciting experiences to the surface, for better or for worse. The best way is to learn through experience. balance, right? So you'll be prepared to take on these potentially hectic times if that's an idea that you have going. But you can also, just skirt around that. Like I said, the Hermit card with that illumination, the lantern, is about illuminating your next best step. So your affirmation, I came up with this affirmation, so I'm going to give it to you. So your Hermit affirmation is, my next move is always my best move. My next move is always my best move. But this one has, an affirmation attached to it as well. So I'll give you that one. Um, I'm gonna give you both, so you can use, and just type down below which one resonates for you. So this card is the I don't stress about how things will turn out. That's kind of that energy of the higher power. I don't stress about how things will turn out. I think both of those are perfect. Letting you know that whatever challenges you may run up against is leading you to growth. It's leading you to more balance, more flexibility, and entering just a new era of exciting things happening and embarking on new adventures. So the Hermit, like I said, is just not afraid to walk alone, because you know that you're never truly alone. There's always that higher power. You carry that wisdom in your bone, in your bones, in your soul, and you carry that light in your mind, in your third eye, in your hands, whatever. So walk with purpose, even when you're walking in silence, right? If you are called inward, answer that call. If the world feels too loud for you, step away. If you've been searching for guidance, trust that it's already within you. You are your own greatest teacher, and the path will always reveal itself, right? Just one step at a time. So go ahead and remember to like the video, and also remember that everything that you need is already within you. Your words are the spells, your actions are the rituals, and the